quarter wave transformer line matching. See, already you will have circuit like this. You will have some length of transmission line, and your load is connected. Okay, then your source will be there. Now the question is, this is Z0, this is ZL. Because there is mismatch between Z0 and ZL, definitely there is the reflection. Definitely there is the reflection. Now what I'm going to do? Now I'm going to do something such a way. See, I'm going to cut the transmission line. Okay, I'm going to introduce something. I'm going to break. Okay, so I will break the transmission line like this. I'm going to introduce small section of the line. Once if I break, and I'll introduce something like this. Say, please other mute the mic. Please check your mic, mute it. Yes, mute the mic. Okay. So I'm going to break the load. I'm going to introduce the section of the transmission line which is of lambda by 4, whose length is of lambda by 4. Now I connect my load here. Okay, what I'm doing? Just I am removing the load. Just before the load, I am introducing something. That something is called lambda by 4 transformer line. What is the length of this line? That is lambda by 4. What is the length of the red color line? That is lambda by 4. Okay, that is a quarter wave transformer, because lambda by 4 line can act as a quarter wave transformer. Now somebody tell me, now my previously my energy is directly going from the line to the load. Now my energy is going to go through the transformer to the load, through the transformer to the load. Now see, my aim is, if I look in this way, if when I look in this way, really my impedance is ZL. But if I look in this way, if this is of Z0, if this is characteristic impedance, instead of if ZL, if the characteristic impedance is there, then definitely no problem, no reflection. Because why we are going for impedance matching? To stop the reflection. When the reflection will be stopped, instead of ZL, if Z0 is there, then there is no reflection. Then now I will look in this way. Somehow when I look in this way, my impedance looking towards the load from here at this position, if this is Z0, then no reflection. Okay, that is a concept, because I have introduced something. Okay, after introducing something, when I look from this point, what the impedance, overall impedance, see, already ZL is there, section of the transmission line is there, but the overall impedance provided by this structure is Z0. If this is Z0, somehow your energy will go to this section, and this section will take care of transmitting that energy to the load. Then there will be no reflection. Okay, see what is happening? Reflection is there. Somehow you are throwing your energy to the transformer. Then the transformer will take care of that, throwing that energy to the load without reflection. So at this point, if I get Z0, then what is the meaning of that? No reflection. What is the meaning of that? No reflection. Then how to get Z0 from this point? How to get Z0 from this point? That is the question mark. How to get Z0 from this point? Okay. And one more thing here is, see, if I want to get Z0 here, okay, now ZL is there. Can anybody tell me what has to be the characteristic impedance of the lambda by 4 transmission line? Any idea is there? See, I take lambda 4. say Z1.
Root of Z into
Say Z naught dash is say
Z
for
naught
example
square by
Z naught square by
ZSC.
ZOC,
sir. Sorry.
ZOC, yeah. What should be the value of the characteristic impedance of the transmission line to get this Z naught here? Simply, you assume that you don't know what is the characteristic impedance of the transmission line. Let me take that is Z naught dash. You don't know something. But one thing you know, if this is Z naught, this is ZL, the product of Z naught, product of the impedance that is present here and the impedance present here, that is equal to what, sir? Characteristic impedance of the line. That is equal to what, sir? Characteristic impedance of the line. Is it okay? Lambda by 4 transformer line. What is the concept of lambda by 4 transformer line? I think in the morning we have discussed, if this is lambda by 4, if this is Z in, if this is ZL, and the characteristic impedance of the line is Z naught, then Z naught square is equal to ZL into Z in. Now working. If you have lambda by 4 length of the transmission line, this is input impedance, this is the load impedance, then the product of input impedance and load impedance is equal to what, sir? Characteristic impedance square. Now I have to go back. That's why you have to read the content then and there. I don't know, that's in the previous slide, I think.
It is in the morning session, sir.
It's in the morning. Morning இல்லையா அதே மார்னிங்ல என்ன செஷன் பண்ண ஒன்றும் பண்ணலையே. இங்க இருக்குங்களா? When you have lambda by 4 transformer line, okay, if you have lambda by 4 transformer line, if this is load, this is input impedance, and Z0 is the characteristic impedance of the line, then how they are related? The product of input impedance and load impedance of the line is equal to characteristic impedance square. அதுதான் வந்து இங்க யூஸ் பண்றோம். Okay, so I don't know what should be the characteristic impedance of the lambda by 4 line, that I am taking it as Z naught dash, but how I have to choose the characteristic impedance of the transmission line, that is given by this quantity, because I should have this impedance Z naught here. Here already load impedance is there, then I have to choose in this manner. See, don't confuse. Simply Z naught is the characteristic impedance of old transmission line. Z naught dash is the characteristic impedance of the lambda by 4 transmission line. Okay, lambda by 4 transmission line. Okay, see, please note down, Z naught is characteristic impedance of this line, for this line. And what is Z naught? Characteristic impedance of the lambda by 4 line. Characteristic impedance of lambda by 4 line. Characteristic impedance of the lambda by 4 line. Yes, sir. புரியுதுங்களா? What is the idea here? Matching வர வைக்கிறதுக்காக lambda by 4 transmission line introduce பண்றீங்க. அப்படி introduce பண்ணும் பொழுது the question mark is what should be the characteristic impedance of the new lambda by 4 transmission line that you are introducing. Already they will give you the characteristic impedance of the old transmission line and the load that is connected with the transmission line. Now you are going to introduce this section, then you should know what should be the characteristic impedance of that section that is related by this one. Why I have taken Z0 here? If you Z0 இருந்தாதான் reflection இருக்காது, but You cannot directly bring Z naught here, but if you choose Z naught dash in such a way, you can bring Z naught here. Okay, lambda by 4 transmission line odia characteristic impedance Z naught dash in the formula use பண்ணி choose பண்ணீங்கன்னா, then definitely if you calculate the impedance looking from there, that will be Z naught. Once if that is Z naught, then there is no reflection. There is no reflection. Okay, can I move further? Understood or not? Anybody? Okay. So note characteristic impedance of the quarter wave line that you are introducing is the geometric mean of Z naught of main transmission line and ZL. So characteristic impedance of quarter wave line is geometric mean of Z naught of main transmission line and ZL. Okay, next we will see stub matching. Okay, we'll see a little bit about stub matching, then remaining thing we'll see on tomorrow evening. Okay, generally there are two types of stubs, short circuit stub and open circuit stub, but mostly we'll use a short circuit stub. Okay, then later I will clarify why open circuit stub is not generally used. Okay, first you see I have a transmission line like this. Okay, now this is my Z naught and this is my ZL. Okay, somebody tell me, if there is no reflection, then this ZL instead of ZL, what you can take, sir? Anybody? Instead of ZL, what you can take? Z naught. If load impedance is equal to characteristic impedance, then no reflection. That is the idea generally. If ZL is equal to Z naught, K is equal to 0, no reflection. But when there is no reflection, S is equal to 1, standing wave is 1. See, when ZL is equal to Z naught, anybody tell me, once if I measure the impedance from this position, say input impedance, what is that value when the load is terminated with Z naught? For a transmission line, the load is terminated with Z naught. What is the input impedance? Anybody?
Z naught, sir.
Z naught, yes. Okay. When ZL is equal to Z naught, the Zin is equal to Z naught. What is the normalized impedance? Can I take that as a 1? What is the normalized impedance of Zin in this case? That is 1, because what is normalization? Divide that impedance by characteristic impedance. Okay, for any impedance you can find out the normalization, but for characteristic impedance, if you find out, that is simply 1. Okay, when Z in bar, can I write like this? Admittance. Instead of impedance, I can calculate the admittance. Even that admittance also 1. What is happening? Even that admittance also 1. Okay, admittance also 1. So in future, I will derive some equation. Okay, after introducing the stub, I will derive some equation. Okay, if I am getting finally Yin is equal to 1, okay, is it true? Because if ZL is equal to Z naught, Yin is equal to 1. In future, what I will do, I will try to bring Yin is equal to 1, then I will say the impedance is getting matched. Okay, what is happening? When ZL is equal to Z naught, impedance is matched, no reflection. Then Yin is equal to 1, then I will introduce some circuit stub. Finally, I will make Yin is equal to 1, then I will tell there is no reflection. That is the idea here. So what I'm going to do, but you cannot get directly yn is equal to 1. You have to do something. Really, you have to do something. But under the limiting condition, when if everything is true, if you want to have no reflection, then definitely these are all the condition. These are all the condition. But in reality, this is ZL only. Okay, now we are going to introduce some circuit. This is ZL. Now what I am going to do, already line is there like this. Say this is ZL. Okay, now I'm going to introduce section of the transmission line like this. Okay, please. What I'm introducing, I am taking some portion of the transmission line, that too in a short circuit format, because what is stub? Section of the transmission line is called as stub section of the transmission line that I am introducing here. Now, two things is very important now. This is the stub. What is the position of the stub? What is the position? Position means what, sir? From load, how far your stub? That is what position or location of the stub. Okay, what is important? You cannot put the stub anywhere on the transmission line. There is a particular point. If you put at a particular point, then only once if you look from this way, then what you will get? You will get yn is equal to 1. If yn is equal to 1, what is happening? The load is getting matched. See, load alone is not getting matched. With the load, now you are having one more stub. The combination of both load and stub simply act as a simply like a Z0. Then entire energy will be going to the load and this stub. Finally, the energy will go to ZL. Okay, so I am going to introduce the stub. Now, two things is important. What is the location of the stub? Location of the stub. And what is the length of the stub? Okay, these two things is important. Length. Okay, another one important thing is length of the stub. Okay, length of stub. Okay, this is called a single stub matching. So now what is our aim? We are going to introduce the stub. That stub is going to cancel the reflection. Okay, somehow it will cancel the reflection. Okay, now what is the location of the stub from the load? Then what is the length of the stub? And very clear, we have taken the short circuit stub. You can also take open circuit stub, but I am taking, in general, we used to take short circuit stub. Okay, now from our basic equation, say for example, impedance anywhere on the transmission line, see, in general, ZL can be any value, R plus J omega L, or it can be G plus J omega C, like in case of capacitance format also possible, negative, with negative also possible. Okay, now what is the impedance anywhere on the transmission line? ZY is equal to Z0, ZL plus J Z0 tan beta Y, okay, divided by Z0 J ZL tan beta Y. Okay, yes, tell me somebody, what will happen if I normalize this one? ZY bar, ZL bar, J tan beta Y 1 plus J ZL bar tan beta Y. Once if I normalize, it will become like this. Okay. Okay, so now if somehow if I make ZY is equal to 1, okay, somehow I am making ZY is equal to 1, what is the meaning of this one? What is the meaning of this one? Definitely ZY is equal to Z0. ZY is equal to Z0. So somehow impedance, input impedance of the line anywhere on the, because irrespective of Y, I can stand anywhere on the line. Here on this line I can stand anywhere on the line, but not in this way, but here in this way I can stand anywhere on the line. If somehow I make this normalized impedance, this entire quantity I make as a 1, then definitely ZY is equal to Z0. Then impedance is getting matched. Impedance is getting matched. Then before that, I'll do one thing. From ZY bar, I will try to calculate. Okay, I will try to calculate YY bar, because that is possible. Once if I have this quantity, just you reverse the numerator and denominator, then what you can calculate? Y bar you can calculate. But finally, y bar is equal to zy bar. Finally, once if you multiply this fraction with the help of the denominator, both in numerator and denominator, finally it consists of some real part and imaginary part. That I think you know, real part and imaginary part. See, if you have complex value like this, 1 plus j3, what you will do? You will multiply with 1 minus j3 and 1 minus j3. Finally, it consists of what, sir? It consists of some real and imaginary, some real and imaginary, because the denominator will give you the real, but in the numerator there will be real and imaginary. Finally, you will get real plus imaginary. So once if you write in this format, finally you will get some real part and imaginary part, some real part and the imaginary part. Okay, with this. Yes, okay, so some real part and a imaginary part. Okay, but finally what I have to do? Finally my aim, finally my y bar consists of real part as well as the imaginary part. But finally I have to make this entire value, this somehow this entire value, I have to make it as a 1. I have to make it as a 1. But for a moment, at this point, what I can do, say for example, if I am having 2 plus j3, okay, somehow I have to make this value as 1. For the first moment, what I will do, sir, somehow I'll try to cancel the imaginary component. How can I cancel the imaginary component? Simply introduce the negative impedance. Okay, if you have already positive reactance, you simply introduce the negative reactance. Then that complexity goes, complex number goes, only you have number 2. Then later we will see how to make 2 as a 1. But for the moment, what I will do, I will try to remove the imaginary part first. I will try to remove the imaginary part first. Okay, imaginary part first. Okay, please. How to remove the imaginary part? Okay. See, what is the idea here? Okay, once the idea goes like this, because it consists of real part and imaginary part. And please note down, your y bar is real part plus imaginary part. I'll write it in the next slide. Because these are all really difficult, but once if you solve this, you'll get some intuitive ideas, really interesting also. Okay, y bar is real part plus imaginary part. Somebody tell me, this real part is function of y. Yes, sir, because when you move along the line, this real part may vary. Similarly, when you move along the line, your imaginary part also will vary. Okay, because from the formula it's very clear, it's function of y. Definitely, even after you are making it as a real and imaginary, the real part is function of y and imaginary part is function of y. Now you move along the you have a transmission line. Okay, you have a transmission line. Okay, now you are not introducing any stop, but already you have some ZL. Okay, now you try to measure the impedance here. Now not impedance, it's like admittance, because you try to measure the admittance here. At some point of time, there is the possibility that, okay, at different y, you will get different, at a different position, like small y I am telling, at different position, you will get different admittance, but definitely at some point of time, there is a possibility that you will get 1 plus. Okay, once if you move along the line, okay, you will get different value at a different position. Definitely at some point you will get 1. Definitely at a real part. Okay, the real part value, because this is already normalized. Okay, this is not yet simple value. This is already normalized. Okay, as it is normalized, definitely at some point as you move along the line, definitely you will get 1. Okay, when you get 1, we don't know what is the complex value there, but our aim is to get 1. When we get 1 here, we'll get some value. That's okay. Okay, first what we are trying to get this value. How you can get this? By moving along the line. How you can get this? By moving along the line. Moving along the line. Nobody knows, sir, where it will be, but really you have to move along the line. From the load towards the source, you have to move along the line. Definitely at some point of time, you will get 1 plus JB. Definitely at some point of time, you will get 1 plus JB by moving along the line. Okay, so in which point you are getting 1 plus JB, that point you have to fix, sir. Suppose in this point, if you are getting 1 plus JB, that point you have to fix. That is the position of the stub. Okay, that is the position of the stub. Okay, this once if you attain this value, this will give you the position of the stub. Position of stub, because you are moving anywhere on the transmission line, but at some point you are getting this one, then you know what is Y. Okay, you know what is Y. Position of stub, that means what? That is Y. Y value you know. Y value is known. How far you are from? What is Y? Y means what? How far you are from the load. What is Y? Y is always measured from the load. How far you are from the load. Now you know the position of the stub. Now you know the position of the stub. Now what is our idea, sir? How can I get 1 from this? Once if I introduce 1 plus JB and minus JB, both will cancel. Already JB is there. Now I have to introduce minus JB. Somebody tell me, if the admittance is there, in which format you have to introduce the admittance value? If you want to add 2 admittance, then in which format they have to be? They have to be in series or they have to be in parallel? Anybody? You are having 2 admittance. Parallel, yes, very good. So whenever you have admittance, if you want to add 2 admittance, they have to be introduced in a parallel format. They have to be introduced in a parallel format. That's why I am going to introduce the stub not in series with the transmission line, but in parallel with the transmission line, because my stub will introduce some value. That value has to cancel the complex value provided by the impedance. Okay, so and again the length, you cannot put any length that you want. You have to provide the length in such a way it gives minus JB. Okay, your length of the stub has to be in such a way that it gives the value of minus JB. Is it possible to get the minus JB? Because you are introducing the short circuit stub. Once if you introduce the short circuit stub, you should know the impedance introduced by the short circuit. The impedance introduced by the short circuit is JZ0 tan beta L. The impedance introduced by the short circuit is JZ0 tan beta L. Now what is my aim? I have to get minus JB. I have to get, because I need minus JB, because if minus JB is there, that will cancel the plus JB. If minus JB, my short circuit impedance has to be minus JB, then what should be my beta L? Yes, sir, that we can calculate. No, now anyway already you know beta. Okay, you know what is the value of B. B is of some value, definitely. Finally you will get some value and you'll get some angle, tan beta L. Then you know what is beta L. You know what is beta. Finally what you can calculate? Again this L will give you what, sir? Length of the stub. This L will give you what, sir? Length of the stub. Length of stub. Okay, now my question is, tan theta negative tharma tarada, sir. If tan theta is not giving negative, then there will be a problem. Tan theta negative tharma tarada, because tan of something has to be finally negative, because you are having JZ0, that is positive, but finally this one is negative. Okay, tan of something negative or a chance irka? Anybody? Tan of something is negative, or tan value is always positive, or tan value negative or a chance irka? Question is very simple. எப்படி sin theta எடுத்தீங்கன்னா பாசிட்டிவ் வரலாம் நெகட்டிவ் வரலாம். Similarly cos theta also it can be positive or negative. What is the nature of tan theta? பாசிட்டிவ் நெகட்டிவ் வரலாமா, இல்லனா only பாசிட்டிவ் மட்டும் தான் வருமா, இல்லனா only நெகட்டிவ் மட்டும் தான் வருமா? Yes, anybody? Question புரியுதா சார்? Yes, ரெண்டுமே வரலாம், பாசிட்டிவ் நெகட்டிவ். Yes, okay, so negative, it can be negative also. Then you can decide L. Because you really want to get minus J something. Okay, to get that something, what should be your length of the stub? So now you know two things. What is the position of the stub? What is the length of the stub? What is the length of the stub? Okay, in this process, what you are getting finally, your uh, finally you got your yy is equal to 1 because jb cancel. Once if yy is equal to 1, definitely your zy is equal to 1. If zy is equal to 1, then impedance looking is z naught, then there is no reflection. It all implicates that reflection is avoided. Reflection is avoided in this process. Reflection is avoided. Okay, in this process, what is happening? Once if we connect the stub, whatever the signal that is coming here, that will enter into these sections. Somehow it will go to the load. It will not be reflected back. It will not be reflected back. That is the idea of the introducing the stub here. Okay, after the just before the stub, definitely here there will not be any reflection. Somehow the energy will go to somehow that is the job of this stub. Somehow it will make the energy to go to the load, because you know that short circuit stub cannot absorb the energy, but its job is to somehow to transport the energy to the load without any reflection. So finally all the energy will go to the load. Now I will give you finally the formula. What is the location of the stub? What is the length of the stub? With that I will stop. Okay, so there is a formula to calculate the location of stub. Okay, no need to remember, just write down in your notes. That's it, because you should just to know these formulas and all there like that. No need to remember. Location of stub, length of the stub. Now my question is, under the limiting condition, if you have short circuit or open circuit, is it possible to introduce the stub? If at all possible, where you have to introduce? Okay, for normal case, you can introduce the stub, no problem. Under the limiting condition, because in a limiting condition, the reflection is very, very high. Whenever you have short circuit, reflection is very, very high. Or in open circuit, the reflection is very, very high. Under the limiting condition, if introduction of the stub is possible, then where I have to introduce? What is the length of the stub? If not possible, why it is not possible, or mathematically or practically? You tell me the reason on tomorrow. Question Purida, yes. Are you all getting my question? Can you introduce the stub if you have if your main line itself is a short circuited, if your main line itself is a open circuited, can you introduce the stub in such a way there is no reflection? That is my question. Okay. With this, I will stop. So tomorrow we will see some limitation of single stub matching. Okay, then why we are going for double stub matching. Then we'll see Smith chart. Okay, then we'll go for antenna. Okay, without doubt irukka sir in this so far? 5 minutes is there. Idellame something new. Okay, so finally exam la idella kepangala, but I don't know, but you should know. That's it. Okay, just you read it. Okay, but exam la eppadi venalam question kekkalam. Simply they'll ask like a single stop matching உங்களுக்கு derivation இதெல்லாம் கேட்க மாட்டாங்க. They'll give you this formula directly. If yy is equal to 1 plus jb, then how to cancel this jb? What I have to introduce? Either short circuit stub or open circuit stub. What should be the length of the? Then again, if I want to have a no reflection, then that is decided by what? Length of the. If I want to cancel jb, then that is decided by what? Length of the stub or position of the stub, or nothing, or both. Like that they will ask. Okay, so the question may be asked in any manner. So if you want to cancel this one, that is decided by the length of the stub. That is decided by the length of the stub. And again, how you are making real part as equal to 1? Just by moving along the line, you are making this real part is equal to 1. Just because you are introducing the short circuit stub, that will not affect the real value, because always short circuit stub or open circuit stub will give you what, sir? Imaginary impedance. Always short circuit stub or open circuit stub will give you the imaginary impedance. It will not affect the real impedance. It will not affect the real impedance. That's why first we are making this one, then you are introducing minus JB, because this one will not be affected later. Okay, that is the idea. Any doubt, guys?